Well, good morning, Dr. Jeff Spencer here once again with another tactic from the Champions Blueprint. And what an amazing day this is. Yesterday was fraught with hazard. We had 6 crashes out of our 9 riders, lost 1 rider. That's always tough, and we're in that intermediate step here during the race where the energy is still high enough and the pressure is still great enough to be able to make for disastrous circumstances. And that'll probably be with us for another, I'm guessing, 4 or 5 days, and then ultimately what will happen before the rest day is that the riders will start to calm down just by virtue of the fact that they're starting to wind down mentally and physically, because they're going to have close to 800 miles in their bodies and in their minds. So until that point, the idea is that we're basically living in chaos, and we need an antidote to that. And the most important word right now in this event is capital S-C-H-E-D-U-L-E, schedule. Schedule right now is everything. It's the metronome by which the mind and the body and the teams need to follow to be able to maintain their correct course heading in this absolute chaos. Because if we don't have schedule, then we're subject to the chaos itself, which can be absolutely disaster. We as a team always start our day with the team breakfast, and what that is, it's not just a refueling stop for the day to be able to create our energy, but it's also a chance for the riders, perhaps even more importantly, to get together and bond as a team. And you know how it is with breakfast. You may have a breakfast and not even say one word to the person next to you, but by virtue of the fact that you're just close to them, there's this silent, unspoken communication that bonds group and reminds group of purpose and why they're there and what their commitment to each other is. So that's how the morning begins. Very important ritual. And then after that, they'll come to me for additional care as we finish up and prepare things for the day so that their minds and bodies are running at peak efficiency, exactly like it should be in life. We need to start the day from a position of strength where our minds and our bodies are firing on all 8 cylinders. And then the next event is that we get the suitcases and we put them outside our hotel room door to be picked up and put on the truck to be transported to the next hotel. And we run a 1 strike and you're out rule. If your suitcases aren't ready at the right time, then the bus leaves without them. You got to figure out what to do to be able to get them back. And the cost of that mistake can be significant in terms of not only our energy, but also disrupt the team rhythm, something you never want to do, especially when you're starting to get into the pace. You've got to conserve as much energy as possible. Part of the other benefit of the structure there is that it also keeps us on time, because if we have a checklist that we need to go through that we need to know needs to get completed, then we will make sure that we do that, and by virtue of the fact that we have a schedule, then we'll be more likely to run on time. Then we get on the bus and we transfer to the start of the stage. It's going to be about a 70-kilometer transfer today, and it's not just the country drive in the beautiful scenic back roads of France, but what it is, it's also a chance for me to finish up on things. I do a lot of taping, a lot of adjusting, a lot of lasering, and all the other things that I've got to do to continue my work to make sure that the riders are 100% mentally and physically ready to put in the rides of their lives each and every day here at this unbelievable event. But perhaps even more importantly than that is the team meeting. And this is where the team director gets together with the team as a group and hands out the individual assignments to the riders and also sets the strategy for that particular day's stage. And this is a really important bonding ritual, phase 2 here, because the bonding is really more about self within the context of team rather than self with self, and the bonding and the understanding and the knowledge of kind of where we fit in that cog, and also our acknowledgement that we're an indispensable part of that cog, raises a heightened sense of commitment, also a heightened sense of purpose, and also a heightened sense of scheduling and being on time, which really does us a favor because it causes us to have to transcend us, and people, when they start to get tired, have a tendency to be a little bit soft around the edges, and that's where mistakes are made. So the team meeting itself is that glue, it's that essential cohesion that's necessary for the team to recommit to itself through a broader context to be able to move forward in unison and take that team effort to a much higher level that is greater than the sum of the parts. And then at that point, then the riders then leave to do sign-in. It's a formal event that happens each and every day where the riders need to sign a document that tells the event and the race that the riders are present. They have to sign that to be able to start that day's stage. And those are, metaphorically speaking, very important things for us, because we need to make sure that we have our own team meeting with self and that we're very clear each and every day of our lives what that day's potential is and what it is that we're going to do to be able to step up and take advantage of that opportunity at the highest level to be of service to ourselves and to others. And the team sign in here at the event and the race is analogous to making sure that we kind of sign in purposely each and every day to the purpose for which we're created, and also to the purpose in front of us to be able to get the tasks of the day done on behalf of ourselves and others. So schedule is basically everything, because it's not only a formal ritual that keeps us on time, but it becomes a blueprint for life. It becomes a metronome where in times of stress, times of strain, when we're tired, our schedule basically takes over and tells us what to do, so we don't have to think about it. And it also allows us to mentally download and not have to worry about things. And nothing's worse than being in a different city day in and day out, where you've got to go to a new store and you can't find out where anything is. I mean, that'll drive you crazy. And that's exactly what life is if we don't have a schedule, or our blueprint, a champion's blueprint, by the way, that we can follow each and every day to make sure that things run smoothly and we get the most out of that day while conserving the most amount of energy, which is basically the name of the game. So my parting words here are: work that schedule, continually refine it. If there's a better option, then make sure that you always follow that, because that's the gift that we can't give ourselves. And today is going to be another flat stage. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious. The risk of crashing is always high here while we have this kind of peak energy and peak pressure. Just a really bad combination. Our job today is to be able to ride safely and get through this week until things settle down in the next couple of days. This is Dr. Jeff Spencer from the beautiful coast here of France, saying until we meet again on our next Tactic from the Champions Blueprint, ride big and ride strong.